belongs to, I mean, because the can you hear me now?
Yeah, very, very, very clearly.
So I'm saying that whoever emerges as a presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate of the PDP will impact the presidential election. It will mean that one of the states that President Tinubu won from the Southwest in 2023, it could be in danger of losing one of those states because Makinde will want to do his utmost to deliver Oyo State, at least to his party, as the standard bearer of the party. The same thing goes for Atiku, who won Bauchi in 2023, but with Bala on the ballot. Bala would want to make sure that he wins his home state as the governor of the state. So, but what we're talking about is the battles that lay ahead before even the presidential election.
Election, right?
Battle for the control of the party. Who gets what? Who gets to produce occupants of key positions like the chairman of the party, the secretary, and all that. Both men have their eyes on, especially because Makinde wants to contest. So Makinde is not yielding ground. He's not taking things lightly at all. And Wike still has support of some governors like the governor of Adamawa State, the governor of Zamfara State. Wike still has support of some of those governors. So it's going to be a real battle between Makinde and Governor Wike for the control of the PDP, beginning from the convention fixed for Ibadan in the middle of November. So, and as I've said earlier, the issue of zoning, they are going to be a daggers drawn on the issue of zoning because zoning will set the tone for everything that will happen later on. You know, if the position is not zoned to a place where you have prepared someone, then all of your plans will be thrown out of the window. So they know that they have to control the matter of zoning. And then after the matter of zoning, they have to control who gets to become
So let me take some comments. From Adamu Idri says, if Wike is still PDP, how is he legally serving APC? This might end up in court again. Tola Oladile says, let's be honest, Makinde is the future. Wike should pick a side or step aside. That's a pun there. Ngozi Eze says, this PDP fight isn't about ideology, it's about ego, and it may cost them 2027.
At the Washington Open and reach her
Danla
first semi-final
Musa
of
says,
2025.
this party.
The 22-year-old beat her Greek opponent 6-4, 7-5.
Is only relevant
Raducanu
because
will
of
face
G5.
either Anna Kalinskaya
I think we're having
or
interference coming from one end. Okay, right. So right, it's gone. Now, Biko, if you look at Governor Makinde as one of the posters suggested, is seen as, or he has emerged as a rallying force for younger progressives within the PDP, especially in the Southwest, where the party has historically struggled for cohesion. So with Makinde now playing host to the convention in Ibadan, his backers argue that this represents a power shift towards younger, more policy-driven leadership. Do you agree with them? Could this be the ideological reset the PDP needs heading to 2027?
No, I do not see it as an ideological reset. I see it as an opportunity to save the party from ruination. Makinde and his friend Bala Mohammed, their position is clear. They are doing their best to stop the continued fracture of the PDP. Neither of them is interested in defecting to the APC. So they represent governors that people have no doubt that they want to remain in the party and keep the party strong. So for one of them to gain control of the party, it means that there is hope for the party. And all they can continue to do is to stop the rampant defection that is going on, stop that hemorrhage, and try to hold people together so that they can remain in the party. So it bodes well. It sends a good signal that the PDP can still sort itself out. For someone like Makinde to have convinced stakeholders to allow them to move the convention to Ibadan. Remember when Asiwaju got the convention of the APC moved to Lagos? That was what saved Buhari. That was what enabled Buhari to win the presidential ticket. If that had not happened, there's no way Buhari would have defeated people like Atiku, people like Kwankwaso in the battle of dollar mongers, because the other people had much deeper pockets than him. They had so much that they could give delegates, and Buhari simply didn't have the money. But with Tinubu ensuring that the convention took place at Teslim Balogun, they were able to take some steps that neutralized the other candidates.
News never sleeps. We're taking a giant leap into the future.
This is what happened.
We at TVC Communications are proud to introduce a new era.
I do not know where this interference is coming from.
It is one of the promos that we did on AI that got played now. So it is clearly from you people's end.
No, I guess it's from the back end. So they have to take notes to that.
So it's a good sign. It's a good sign in my view that one of the people who is desperate to keep PDP strong and make it continue to earn relevance is trying to take control of the party, trying to brush Wike aside and take control of the party. I believe that taking the convention to Ibadan is a good sign. Atiku is clearly out of the way now. So the younger party men will be able to slug it out amongst themselves, and people who are truly committed to the continuity of PDP as the leader of the opposition, the top opposition party in our country. They are now trying to put their heads together to ensure that the party does not die untimely. So it's a good sign to move that convention to 15 and 16 of November, and they'll be hosted by Makinde in Ibadan. I believe that Makinde will have a big say in the big decisions that will come out of that convention, especially since he's hosting it. He understands the terrain much better, and he will be able to deploy foot soldiers to ensure that the tendencies that he represents prevails over others. But we must not write Wike off. We know that he will also want to struggle to gain control of the party.
Yeah, talking about Wike, well, let me take one or two comments first before I ask my final question. Guess where is the comment? Yes. Seyi Adebambo says, old PDP, same chaos. We need parties that care about Nigerians, not power games. Kunle Sadiq says, Ibadan Convention looks more like a coronation ceremony than a unifying event. And Ibrahim Hassan says, if PDP can't settle in-house disputes, how can they govern a country? Now we're having the ADC, we're having the SDP, who is also saying that, I guess they said they're not even part of the coalition. We're having some other parties, we're coming together. We see Atiku, Peter Obi, Labour Party, etc., Dati. But That's one on the one side. Some argue that Wike's influence, despite his defiant stance defiant stance post 2023 elections and his current role in Tinubu's cabinet, it has kept the PDP machinery oiled in some regions. Is it fair to say that the party still needs Wike to stay electorally viable, especially in the South-South, as it also wages some sort of war against the opposition, especially the PDP in this context?
No, it's a difficult question to answer. One thing is certain, with Wike being a minister and serving this administration, he cannot contest for the presidency. So that makes the battle a little easier for Makinde, because unlike
which law says that?
the previous election,
No
when he actually wanted to be president, I don't think he harbors that ambition now. He doesn't harbor that desire now. So he has left the scene for them. Atiku is out of the way. So I agree with those who are saying this could be a chance for younger people to take hold of the party, to take control of the party. You know, but it all depends on what transpires in Ibadan in November. I know that both men will be struggling, you know, to gain control. They'll be honing their strategies and tactics to take control of the party. Many people who are loyal to the PDP, this is what they want to see. They want someone who has nothing to do with the APC government to take control of the party. They are not saying we can leave our party, but because Wike belongs to, because Wike is serving in the cabinet of President Tinubu, many of the PDP members do not trust him that much. They do not trust him. But Wike still retains the support of many National Assembly members and some governors, because when people abandoned the party, he remained, and he sponsored the elections of some of these people. So they remain indebted to him. And some of the people that sponsored their election are governors today. So there's no way they can brush him aside, that, oh, we don't want to see Wike and all that. So he's just a person that they have to keep tolerating. People can't stand the fact that he's serving this administration. But it is on record that he told Damagum that that he had been approached by the president, and the chairman of the party, Damagum at that time, gave him the go-ahead. He also said he contacted his governor, Fubara, and that Fubara also gave him his blessings to go and contest. So Wike has found a way to deflect blame for serving in President Tinubu's administration to party leaders and his governor. So they know that he's a man of value. So they are not prepared to say, okay, get away, we don't need you in our party. They remember his previous sacrifices. So to that extent, they still think that, okay, let us keep him. But there are many people who are truly tired of him, especially the fact that he continued to support Anyanwu and Damagum when people turned against them in the party. But they have the chance, Ibrahim, they have the chance in November to address all of those issues. You know, Damagum could be removed in November, because the party says it's zoning to the south. That means someone from the north, if it's zoning the presidency of the south, then someone from the north needs to become the chairman of the party. But we don't know where in the north they are going to zone it to. Will it go to the northwest? Will it go to the north central? We don't know yet. And even folks in the north central too also want to produce the chairman, because as far as they are concerned, the last chairman of the party from the north central didn't finish his tenure. So they are still agitating, perhaps in line with the decisions earlier taken by the ADC, by the APC. PDP could be looking in the direction of a chairman also from the North Central, you know.
Yeah.
So, but all of that will pan out in November when they have their convention. But it's a good thing that they have at least fixed a date for their convention. It was difficult even to call a NEC meeting, but now they have called a convention. It shows that things are improving within the party in terms of sorting out their issues.
Yeah, very quickly, because we have about 3 minutes to go. If you can do that in 1.5. Per week, you know, legal experts have begun debating whether PDP should enforce stricter disciplinary actions for dual allegiance, especially with, Wike. You know, is it time for the party to actually amend its rules of holding party membership while serving?
No, it's not the first time that we are seeing this. It also happens even in bigger democracies. A president can headhunt a talent from another party because it's national service. So even morally speaking, you cannot push that case that somebody cannot serve his country in the capacity. So we've seen even democratic presidents headhunt people from the opposition, people from Republican Party to come and serve their country. He is not saying come and work for my party, come and serve the country. So it's difficult to push that. What the party would not like to see is for him to take steps that are clearly going to undermine the strength of the party. Once he does that, then they would rather be happy to have him leave the party and go and work fully for the APC. But as per serving in his own, serving in the government, it's not the first time. I saw even Alliance for Democracy back then in 1999. President Obasanjo had hunted their chairman and brought him into his administration. And that was not the only time that President Obasanjo had hunted somebody from the opposition, you know. So it's not a new thing.
That's right.
As we develop as a democracy, Nigerians will see this eventually as something normal. Because if somebody is extremely good, and Wike has demonstrated that is of big value to this administration in terms of his achievements and infrastructure. He may not have done so well in human capital development, but in terms of infrastructure, he's done well. So the president's, it will seem that the president is justified in bringing him into his administration to add value. So they cannot say he cannot serve, especially after they gave him the go-ahead. None of them has come out to say Wike lied, because he asked for their permission before going to serve in the administration. And he claims that the chairman gave him the go-ahead. He claims that even his governor, Fubara, gave him the go-ahead. So on what basis are they going to go to court?
Go to court. All right. That makes a whole lot of sense. Well, BKO, you're in Abuja, and then hopefully you'll be back to Lagos anytime soon. That's our show for today's edition of Issues with Jide. Special thanks to you, Babajide Kolade Odutoju, for those insightful analyses as always.
Thank you, Ibrahim. I wish you safe journey back to Nigeria once you are through with the exertions that took you to the UK.
All right, thank you very kindly, BK. It's good to talk to you. And thanks to you, to our audience, for keeping our company on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at TVC News NG. I'm also at Ibrahim_Shita. On behalf of the rest of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.
Your face. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. This time, let's talk politics. 1 + 1 may not always be 2, as what is construed as an asset may be viewed as liability.
The list includes former Abia State Governor Okeze Ikpeazu. They are all accused of anti-party activities. In his words, PDP must show leadership by punishing members who openly worked against its interest. The experienced politician backs former President Goodluck Jonathan for the 2027 presidential race. Biko, you want to start from there?
From is it whether Jonathan will
from there, bottoms up.
Yeah, I think the matter of Jonathan is the court that can determine. Yes, I know that a court in the Federal High Court in Yenagua pronounced him fit to contest. But there are those who say that once the amendment has been made to the law, that it automatically takes away his right to vote, to be voted for. And I'm inclined to believe some of what, because I was speaking with a lawyer today who told me, see, when an amendment is made, it assumes that the amendment itself is as old as the document. Our Constitution was given back to in 1999. It's called the 1999 Constitution.
As amended.
Yes. They are saying that once an amendment is made, it assumes the age of that document.
Okay.
That is what a lawyer told me. And if that is the case, it means that President Jonathan cannot
take part.
Yes. But some lawyers are saying, oh, Jonathan left office in 2015. The amendment came in 2018. And for that reason, an amendment that came 3 years after he left office is not binding on him. But we are not lawyers. Yes, there was a judgment that came before the 2023 election,
all right,
which permitted him to go and contest. That judgment was not appealed.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that another court of coordinate
cannot vacate it?
Jurisdiction cannot start another action. You understand? Because his own judgment is not binding on any court of coordinate jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Because you are not, the court is not superior to maybe another court.
On
like
the same level.
Yes. The state high court, for example.
Yeah.
They are deemed at par with federal high court, although with different jurisdictional boundaries and all that. So they are saying Jonathan cannot contest. But I know that when that time comes, when Jonathan decides to listen to those who want him to contest, we'll see people go up to try and test the law, test the amendment. But I want to agree with those who said when an amendment happens, it assumes that it's as old as the law, the law book itself, or the Constitution itself. So, and the guy gave me an example that was really convincing.
Okay.
You cannot say that, oh, because the amendment didn't happen in 1999, somebody can bring up a matter, an old matter. So it's assumed that once it's amendment, the law takes effect immediately, and from the time when that constitution becomes operational. So that's if that's the case, then Jonathan cannot contest.
So
but those who are
precludes him from running.
If the argument of that lawyer
is
right, then he cannot run, because it's assumed that the amendment is as old as the law. As the Constitution itself. But those who want him point to the fact that during his time there was prosperity. He's somebody that is a listener, And for the North, if Jonathan comes in, Jonathan will only be able to do one term. But if a new person, a new Satana, because PDP has zoned the presidency to the South after their NEC meeting of almost 2 weeks ago. Now, because of that, Jonathan will spend only one term. Which will be favorable to Northern Nigeria. Yeah. But if a new person, maybe a Peter Obi, for example, emerges, he may promise you that he will do one term. But everyone knows that politicians, once they get there, they will say, oh, no, it cannot work. And there is so much work to do. Anyone who thinks that he can fix Nigeria in 4 years, I think they should learn from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because some things we want to build a gigantic road from here to Badagry, to Sokoto. It takes time. We want to do the...
Good morning, everyone. I apologize, I cannot speak Korean.
The list includes former Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu. They are all accused of anti-party activities. In his words, PDP must show